Using the Bible to reach out to atheists? You messed up already. Yes, of course. Where they come from, my brain. You should try using it sometime.
First and foremost, I do not agree that Hitler was right. The title is merely to help demonstrate that there is a moral law, and because there is a moral law, there must be a moral law giver. I wouldn't doubt that the title of this video stirred up some form of negative emotion in most, if not all, of your hearts, and this helps demonstrate the truth of the moral law that has been written on all of our hearts.
Okay, so we're instilled with morals, right? Do we all have the same morals? Can't be. There would be no Hitler in the first place, right? If we all have the same morals, then Hitler wouldn't have done those things. He would think they're wrong. He wouldn't have thought black people are inferior and need to be killed because they're going to make us weak and all that, whatever. So, does God give us different morals just to fuck with us? Ain't that a bitch?
Where did these standards come from? Well, whoever said that we should help people? Is helping people a universal moral obligation? Or is it just true for you and not for me?
Apparently you ever heard of the Republican Party?
The evidence is not scientific, but moral in nature. It's like the laws of logic in mathematics. The evidence is non-material, but is just as real.
One, who says it's a law? Who says there's a moral law? You haven't even proved that yet. And two, why does it have to be a lawmaker? You jump into conclusions after conclusion, but you haven't proved any of it.
So, if there are moral obligations, there must be someone to be obligated to.
Exactly, it's personal opinion. You know, Hitler had his opinion, and then I have mine. I disagree. I don't think Jews are weak or whatever.
Because we know what's absolutely wrong, there must be an absolute standard of rightness. We couldn't have said that the Nazis were absolutely wrong unless we knew what was absolutely right. But we do know that they were absolutely wrong.
Do I think they were wrong? Yeah. But how can you say they're absolutely wrong, you know? Shit, if I know, I mean, how do you know? Absolutely? How do you know?
Law must exist. Without this objective standard, any objection to evil is nothing but your personal opinion.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Yeah, it's personal opinion. How are you not getting this? I would argue the exact opposite. I mean, being an atheist, this life is so much more meaningful to me than it is to you guys. I mean, to this is just a finite transgression. You know, it's a test. All you have to get is a D-. I mean, you just write your name on a test, you pass. You know, being writing your name, you know, believing in God, you pass. That's it. Death leads to happiness. I mean, how good's your life if death leads to happiness? I mean.
So, atheists, many of you conclude that there is no God because of the presence and persistence of evil in the world. And if there really is a good and just God, then why does he allow bad things to happen to good people? So in conclusion, you've long asserted that it would be more logical to believe that God doesn't exist than to try to explain how evil and God can coexist. Well, atheists, how do you know?
If anyone, you know, doesn't believe in a God on that basis alone, it's pretty dumb in my opinion. There's so many other reasons. So many. A lot more.
Well, atheists, how do you know the world is unjust? Does this lead back to the moral law that is written on everyone's heart? Does this mean that there is a moral law giver? C.S. Lewis wrote, "As an atheist, my argument against God was that the universe seemed so cruel and unjust."
It's not a matter of knowing, it's a matter of opinion. Like I said, I mean, if you go to ask the Nazi dude down the street, who doesn't exist, but right now does, you know, what's injustice, you know, black people getting jobs or something. I don't know exactly what he would say, because I'm not a Nazi, but you get the idea. I mean, I would disagree.
He wrote, "As an atheist, my argument against God was that the universe seemed so cruel and unjust. But how had I got this idea of just and unjust? A man does not call a line crooked unless he has some idea of a straight line. What was I comparing this universe with when I called it unjust? If there were no moral law, then we wouldn't be able to detect evil or injustice of any kind. Without justice, injustice...
But why? You still haven't explained why. Why? Well, first off, it's a paradox, and you're wording it funny on purpose. What we really, with atheists in general, is the truth is we don't really know. Although that's more of like an agnostic perspective. Like an atheist agnostic, which is what I am. You know, I don't believe in God, but I don't know. Who knows? No one. Not you, not me.
As an atheist, my argument against God was that the universe seemed so cruel and unjust. But how had I got this idea of just and unjust? A man does not call a line crooked unless he has some idea of a straight line. What was I comparing this universe with when I called it unjust?
From a naturalistic perspective, that's correct. You know, there can't be good without evil. You have to have that balance. In a world without a God, yes. But that's the thing with God. I mean, He's almighty, you know, omnipotent, all this and that, right? So what's limiting? Who or what is limiting Him? Anyways, you know, this is my first video. It's got the little trial thing going across every time. If you have any software suggestions, I'll appreciate it. Thanks.